of sight, that you can mash up the place like dynamite.
You know you so full of ethic, but you so clever. You still have to make a you design for me the dancer. If for me alone, I would have turned her in a me lover. Tell me what me near me, what me knock you with me hammer. Then make me get my punch up, yeah, mass, yeah. First time me see you, me da walk in a maca. Now me see you when me walk, me burn up in a fire. All up in a front like a thinking filler with a girl, ya wine, she look like mama killer. One touch me, it burn me like pepper. But you the DJ out of me, Allah. She me no walk by the fire, Allah.
She is the dance queen for life. Gonna explode like dynamite.
Y'all know about that old school right there. That's that 1990s old school joint. Dance hall queen. All right, so let's just dive right in. I want to talk about the scripture that I want us to touch on is Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. Jesus talks about not casting your pearls before swine. So I want us to dissect that, analyze that, and to really pull the cryptic meaning. It's not really cryptic nor mystical. It's pretty, well, it does have some cryptic, some mysticism to it, but it's not a deep mystique. Okay, it's pretty surfaced. It's a surface mystique. You don't have to dig too deep. But here we have the reason why there is some mystique, because pearls is being used to represent something else. Swine is being used to represent something else. And previous to verse 6, he says that do not give that which is sacred to dogs. Do not give that which is holy to dogs. That part I'm paraphrasing. You can go and study the scripture yourself, Matthew 7:6. But the point is, do not cast your pearls before swine. So swine is metaphoric. It's representative of something else. And so is pearls. It's representative of something else. So there's it's analogous to something else. So there is some mystique, there is some cryptic, but it's not of any, you don't have to dig too deep. You don't have to roll up your sleeves and get your nails dirty. So let's dissect it. Let's analyze it. Let's do you know how I like to use my exegetical interpretation. Let's do an exegetical and didactical extrapolation, right? We want to extrapolate. I love those words. Extrapolate, exegetical, didactical. I just love those words. They sound amazing and they're applicable. So let's dive right in. So here's the thing, folks. This passage, Matthew 7:6, it is so powerful. And we're all so guilty of it. Like, this scripture is so powerful. And we are all, without exception, so guilty of this passage. I'll read it again. Do not cast your pearls before swine. I'll say it one more time. Do not cast your pearls before swine. We all, if you think of pearls, think of the most expensive, luxurious, lavish. Think of the most elegant and eloquent, and think about the most gracious magnificence. Think of a pearl in all of its glory. Think of the most expensive pearl you can think of, the most value. Then think of a pig. What do those two things have in common, right? What do the luxurious, the beautification, the pulchritudinous of a pearl has to do with a pig that rolls around in mud? These are on the opposite ends of the spectrum, if even on a spectrum. I don't even think they're on a spectrum to be on opposite ends. Not, the dichotomy is obvious. There is no familiarity. There is no comparison. There is no similarity. It is completely polar opposites, right? Talking about polar opposites, a pig in mud and a prestigious pearl, prestigious and pulchritudinous pearl. Completely opposites with a pig in mud. So now let's go into what's the meaning? Why are we guilty of that? Like, are you literally going out there casting pearls in front of pigs? No, you're not. But so the meaning is, when you are, which we all are guilty of, when you give your value to someone or something or some persons that aren't worthy of what you are giving them, you are casting your pearls before swine. Jesus meant this explicitly in the text of preaching the gospel. what he was telling his followers and those who would take heed is, don't waste your time preaching this gospel to those who will ridicule, those who would hold you in derision, those who would trample upon this truth, this doctrine, this teaching. Don't waste your time sharing this news, this good tidings with these people who are who are going to turn back to their old ways, who are going to ridicule, laugh, who are going to hold you in derision, who are going to mock, who are going to take this thing for granted and again trample it under feet. So that's what Jesus was saying in regards to the context of what he said to those who were his disciples and who were listening. But we apply that today in that sense, biblical, but we must apply that into the earthly sense, which is don't waste your time trying to give of yourself to those who don't value you. Do not waste your time giving of yourself to those who hold you in derision, to those who will hold you in mockery, to those who will hold you in triviality, right? You're trivial. You are of no significant importance in their life. Therefore, they don't see your value and or worth. There is no appreciation. You will be trampled on their feet, as the scripture says. Do not waste your time pursuing those who don't want to be pursued. Do not waste your time on endeavorments that is not worthy of your efforts. Do not give your value to those who don't see your value or who cannot appreciate your value. This is what casting your pearls before swine mean. If you are a business person and you have business acumen and you have business prowess, insights, don't waste that knowledge, that gift you have on those who will not appreciate that information, those who will waste that information, those who are not going to act on that information. You are purely wasting time and energy. And here's the thing: if I waste $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, I can work and in time make that money back. In time, I can get that money back. I can work, put my head down and work, and I can make back that 200, 300, $250,000. I can make that money back. If I invest in something and the business blows up and I lose all of the assets that were invested in that business, whether it was finance or otherwise, I can regain that business. I can get it back in time. It can be rebuilt, reconstructed. I can gain it back. But here is the thing. The one thing that I cannot and ever get back is that natural commodity that starts with a T and ends with an E. And in between, there's an I and an M, and it's called time. You cannot ever get back, replace, reconstruct, regain time once spent and lost. It is lost forever. Forever. So casting your pearls before swine is not only it is not only something of tangible or something of which you sharing your knowledge, your information, your value, your finances, your emotions, your energy. It is your time. It is also all those things to boot time. All those things again to boot time. So you're also casting the pearls of time before those who do not appreciate that time. And time is a commodity that you can never ever replace. Once lost, it's lost forever. Again, money, all those other things you can replace in time. But time, folks, once you cast the pearls of time before pigs or dogs or those who do not appreciate your time, you can never ever get that back. That's one thing you can never replace. So be careful with the pearls that you're casting before people who would trample it under their feet. Do not give your time, your energy, your efforts, your emotions, your resources, any of yourself to those who you know and you can tell and you are wise enough to understand that they can't appreciate that time. That they can't appreciate that time, or they can't appreciate the commodity that you're sharing. So it's very important that we understand Matthew 7:6, and that we realize that a lot of us, including myself, we cast our pearls before those who would not appreciate the value of you as a person, you as a human being. They won't appreciate the fact that the time that you're giving them, it's not something to be taken lightly, because you can never get that back once lost. So this is a video about just being more mindful and conscious, of this precept, this statute, this law of casting your pearls before swine, because again, not everyone will appreciate the gems, the jewels, the information, the knowledge, the value that you bring into their lives. Some people, and it has nothing to do with you not having the value. It has nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with the world that we live in, and understanding some basic fundamental laws. And some of these laws is to understand that not everyone is insightful enough, or have the third eye opened, or have the overstanding to appreciate when God has sent someone or something into their lives to assist, or to make some kind of better empowerment or change, whether it be financially, economically. Again, a lot of the times I find myself talking, I'm in finance, that's what I do. So I have a background, I have several licenses in finance from Wall Street. So I sometimes talk to people about finance, and I can see it's being wasted. I'm wasting my time, not just information, but my time. I'm wasting my time. And again, that is a commodity that you can never ever get back. And not only am I wasting my time, I realize the information is being lost on some people. And sometimes I have to acknowledge that you're casting your pearls before swine. Be wise, understand that law, and be selective with whom you dispense both your time and information. Be very selective in the dissemination of your information and your time. And I just want to share that with you guys. Till next time, Mark here, cooking books, serving up informational meals. If you like this video, if you like this information, give it a like, subscribe, share it, tell your friends, and help me grow this page. All right, till next time. Peace.